We have a level 3 risk for severe storms late this afternoon and this evening. We'll talk about what a level 3 risk means and what time you could see storms.
And here at RDU, we are tracking flight cancellations and delays after thunderstorms really impacted flights up and down the East Coast.
2 cars badly damaged in a crash on a Durham road, and our crew in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker was at the scene.
It's a critical week for abortion rights in North Carolina. The moves happening starting today as new restrictions are due to become law in just a few days. We are starting off our Monday as a WRAL Weather Alert Day. We're glad to be back with you to walk you through it. Hello, everyone. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your routine here. And as we get this Monday going, it'll be unlike many that we see this time of year. Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now with what are the threats we could possibly face later, Elizabeth?
The biggest threat from this system is going to be damaging winds, and that means potential for a number of trees to come down, possible power outages. Hail is a small threat with this, quarter size, and actually tornadoes are a low risk too. We've had hundreds of reports of wind damage with this system and only 4 reports of tornado damage. So that's a piece of good news, but you do have to remember that severe thunderstorms can often produce the same sort of damage as a weak tornado. Lots and lots of severe thunderstorm warnings last night across parts of Kentucky and Tennessee, and now we see that rain in the mountains of North Carolina with the potential for some redevelopment of storms here fairly late today. A level 3 risk is not something that we see very often, a handful of times per year, and mainly during the spring, which is typically our severe weather season, which would be from, say, March to May. Here's what's happening right now. We have a little bit of sunshine that's been breaking out of the clouds, but that rain in the mountains is likely to continue to push eastward and could bring us a few light showers between 9 and noon. The more rain we see, the more settled the atmosphere will be, but then when the sun comes back out later this afternoon, that will destabilize the atmosphere again. Could bring us a few isolated storms this afternoon, but the line of thunderstorms itself begins to develop back to our west at around 7 o'clock. There is 8 p.m. as we begin to see that line moving through at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then this system continues to move eastward. We could even see a few lingering storms in the south as late as, say, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a pretty start out there in terms of the sunrise happening here in downtown Durham, but it's warm and sticky. 75 with the dew point way up at 68. Our temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 70s, so that's going to give us a leg up on a really hot day today. We'll see 94 for the high this afternoon, and with the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, it's going to feel more like 101, 102 for the heat index this afternoon. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the threats for severe storms this afternoon. Brian?
6:02 right now as we take a look at sensors and cameras around the triangle. Good news, we're off to a pretty good start this morning with no trouble showing up in Wake County. Also quiet right now in Durham and Orange County. When I take you out to the eastern side of Wake County for a look at 87 at Smithfield Road in the Knightdale area. Westbound, or rather southbound traffic is looking fine. We're not picking up any delays as you head back toward 440, Renee.
Brian, thanks. Airports across the country are scrambling this morning trying to accommodate passengers whose flights have been delayed or canceled. Weather and even equipment problems are to blame. WRAL's Laura Levine joins us live from RDU International Airport, where we are seeing a growing number of cancellations this morning. Laura, bring us up to speed on the situation there.
Well, Renee, many people are ready to hit the skies for summer vacation, but when they arrive here at RDU, they're faced with a little disappointment. Here right now, we are tracking 8 canceled flights and 9 delays this morning. Travelers up and down the East Coast are still dealing with some lingering impacts from storms yesterday. About 8,000 flights nationwide were delayed and nearly 900 canceled as those thunderstorms shook up the air travel in and out of some of the country's busiest airports. On top of that, the FAA also briefly halted departures to major airports that serve Washington, D.C. for repairs to a power panel that went out at an air traffic control facility. So the FAA had to use a backup communication system before that issue was resolved. We spoke with Carol and Harris Rui. Traveling for the first time since the pandemic, they learned when they arrived here at RDU at 3 a.m., well, that their plans would change.
Oh, for a special occasion, this is our 50th wedding anniversary. So this is a disappointment. Weather is inevitable, but I'm really sorry that it's impacting this trip because we've been so excited and so looking forward to it.
So they were planning to travel to Aruba this morning, but RDU and Delta, their flight leaving out of RDU this morning, couldn't get them to their first stop in Atlanta. We also spoke with another couple dealing with the exact same situation. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation here at RDU and keep you posted. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live at RDU.
We're working to learn more this morning about a serious crash in Durham on South Mineral Springs Road. This happened just after 11 last night near Willow Springs Road. You can see a car and Jeep both badly damaged in this video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. No word yet on any injuries or what caused the crash.
New abortion restrictions are set to take effect in North Carolina this Saturday. Those include a ban on the procedure after 12 weeks. However, Republican state lawmakers are making last-minute changes as a lawsuit over the ban is heard in federal court. Today, the Senate will take a look at its final vote on those new changes, and our NC Capitol team expects the House to give its approval Wednesday. That's the same day a federal court in Greensboro will decide whether to put the restrictions on hold. Planned Parenthood is suing over the rules and wants them blocked. GOP lawmakers are hoping their new changes will convince the judge to let the abortion ban take effect. And if the new ban is approved and the judge lets it take effect, Governor Roy Cooper could still veto it. That would likely just mean a delay because the GOP-controlled General Assembly would most likely override him. Hundreds of thousands are without power this morning as the storm system that's heading our way left devastation behind it, including in Indiana. The National Weather Service will be back there today to look at the damage left by tornadoes like this one you're seeing video of. And it's from a town of Bargersville, about 20 miles south of Indianapolis. The town's mayor says the tornado damaged about 75 homes over a 3-mile stretch. No one was hurt. This was one of several reported tornadoes in Indiana yesterday.
Police in Raleigh are looking to make an arrest after a shooting downtown left a man in critical condition. This happened on Chavis Way near Winters Park around 5:30 yesterday evening. A neighbor told the WRAL Breaking News Tracker he ran outside when he heard gunshots and found the man who was shot. Police say this appeared to be an isolated incident, and they say there is no threat to the public.
Today, we'll learn about a series of power outages in Wake Forest. Officials with Wake Forest Power wrote on Facebook that they will address those outages that lasted for 2 days. They say a faulty switch was to blame, and their crews have since replaced it. We had reached out to the town after viewers sent us messages about the power problems. About 1,000 customers were affected.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has yet to respond this morning after the most serious challenge yet to his power. Cheers erupted in the street near Russia's military headquarters after the head of the Wagner mercenary group called off an attempted rebellion. The Kremlin says the leader agreed to stop his forces from advancing toward Moscow in an armed convoy. It's not clear how much the short-lived insurrection will weaken Russia's efforts in its war against Ukraine. Ukrainians say they're optimistic the infighting will give them opportunities to take back territory seized by Russian forces. And ahead on today, Michael McFaul, the former U.S. ambassador to Russia, shares his take on this unprecedented rebellion. His analysis and a live report on the ground here on WRAL right after this newscast.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, search and rescue efforts are underway in Utah this morning after a teenager drowned in a Utah river yesterday. Police say 3 17-year-olds, 2 boys and a girl, were swimming in a canal. One of the boys went under near a retention gate and did not resurface. The other boy tried to rescue his friend but became stuck. That's when the teen girl left the water and called 911. Deputies were able to rescue the boy hanging on to the retention gate and pull him out of the water. But search and rescue teams are still looking for that third teenager, that third boy this morning.
Michelle, thanks. Donald Trump is trying to appeal to voters in a key swing state that he won, then lost. Why he says electric cars are a big threat in Michigan.
A tribute to Tina Turner at the BET Awards didn't go exactly as planned. How Patti LaBelle kept the show going, though, through technical issues.
And we have a level 3 risk for severe storms for today. Level 3 is unusual for this time of year. We'll talk about what that means and what time you could see the storms.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 6:11. We have a level 3 risk for severe storms for today. That means wind damage could be widespread. The timing of this is likely to be during the evening. And we're going to walk through this with Futurecast coming up in just a little while. But a level 3 is something that we see maybe just a few times a year and usually in the spring. A hail threat is possible, isolated tornadoes, but wind damage looks like the biggest threat. We have a little bit of sunshine in spots this morning. Durham, beautiful sunrise there. Over in Fayetteville, we're looking at a pretty sunrise. And Wilson here checking at 73. We're looking at very warm temperatures heading out the door. We'll see an isolated shower this morning, but then of course that line of severe storms later on today. Don't wait until this evening to get your exercise in. Notice it is going to be hot, high of 94, heat index in the triple digits. Brian?
612 right now, still looking good with no crashes reported anywhere in the triangle. Do want to check those major approaches into Durham right now, show you how those are looking according to our live sensors. A 1-minute delay showing up now on the westbound side of 98 from Highway 50 back to 885, but otherwise it's pretty quiet. No trouble on I-40 on that eastbound trip coming in from Chapel Hill, delay free all the way out toward 885. Renee?
Brian, thank you. More news to tell you about. Harnett County, its sheriff and others are named in a new civil lawsuit linked to a man's death in jail 2 years ago. The sheriff's office says a cellmate of 29-year-old Eric Griffith found him unresponsive on June 22, 2021. A lawsuit filed on behalf of Griffith's estate is now seeking unspecified damages. It says Griffith had been held in jail for 3 days for not paying a $320 fine. It accuses the defendants of knowing Griffith had a drug addiction requiring special monitoring, not taking action to stop him from getting drugs in jail, and failing to respond promptly when he overdosed. We reached out to Sheriff Wayne Coates for comment last night. We're waiting to hear back.
Delta says it is working with the National Transportation Safety Board after one of its employees was sucked into an airplane engine and killed. It happened at the San Antonio International Airport. Authorities say they responded Friday night. They say the Delta plane was arriving from Los Angeles when that employee was killed. The name of that person has not been released.
Donald Trump is working to appeal to voters in the key swing state of Michigan, which he lost in 2020 after winning there in 2016. Speaking at a GOP event in suburban Detroit yesterday, Trump attacked the Biden administration and electric vehicles, saying their adoption would lead to job losses in the auto industry. He also said he would defend the so-called parental rights movement in schools.
I will immediately sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content onto the lives of our children.
Trump is campaigning at a time when he's facing separate criminal indictments on federal and state charges. He's denied wrongdoing, but new reporting shows he's funneled campaign donations into a political action committee used to pay his personal legal fees.
It's one of the biggest nights for the music and film industries, and we are talking about the BET Awards. And this morning, Patti LaBelle is trending for her performance during a tribute to the late Tina Turner. Ken Smith joins us now for a look at this viral moment. LaBelle, oh my goodness, she forgot the words to a Tina Turner song.
And you just very rarely do we see Miss Patti fumble the lyrics to a song on stage, no doubt. And that's why this moment you're about to see went viral overnight.
What if I can't see the words? I don't know. I'm trying, y'all.
Oh, she's trying, y'all. That happened during the first two verses, and the background singers kept it going. Each time Miss Patti got back on track during the chorus, well, by the end of the song, though, everyone was in sync and the audience was on their feet dancing and singing along. That performance followed the show's In Memoriam segment that honored other legends like television network anchor Bernard Shaw and actor Harry Belafonte. Other big winners on the night were Coco Jones for Best New Artist, Beyonce Break My Soul winning the Viewer's Choice Award, and in the film categories, Black Panther Wakanda Forever won Best Movie, and Angela Bassett won Best Actress for her role in that movie. But the talk of the night and today, Patti LaBelle, and you'll likely see a lot of reaction populating your social media feed today. Renee?
Look, Miss Patty is human, and apparently so is the prompter operator. Take a look at this. The Lee County Sheriff's Office says there was an accident at the Raleigh Executive Jetport. They posted the picture on Sunday. Deputies arrived to find a plane on its top. They say the pilot was not hurt. The Highway Patrol is investigating. Authorities have not yet said what caused this crash. It is 6:16, and let's get you updated on our level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk for today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the timing of these storms.
It's likely to be fairly late in the day. We could see a sprinkle or a light shower this morning, but the severe storms are more likely around dinner time up until around midnight or so. And this level 3 risk is something that we don't see very often. We average 2 per year. Most likely we would see this in the spring during our severe weather season, which is from March to May. So this is a very unusual weather pattern that we're going to see. Isolated tornadoes are possible with this, but this has really been a straight line wind kind of storm. That's where the history is with this. We did have a tornado warning there in the southern part of Kentucky right at the start of the loop around midnight or so last night. And then lots and lots of severe thunderstorms. The yellow boxes that are popping up there, all severe thunderstorm warnings. That has weakened as it moved into the mountains of North Carolina, but we could see a light shower from that this morning. And then as the front gets closer to us and we heat things up this afternoon, that's where we'll have the better chance of some storms here. Look at this, 374 wind damage reports. Those are the white circles. The hail here is blue. That's 188. And then out of all of that, from all the way up to almost Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico, only 4 tornado reports. So this setup is not necessarily a tornado setup. We could have an isolated tornado, but remember, straight line winds can do as much damage as a small, as a weak tornado. So just be careful out there. Download your WRAL weather app, set it to alerts, and if those alerts go off, turn on the TV. We're going to be tracking this, of course, all through the afternoon and evening. Large hail's a possibility with the system as well. And we take a look at Futurecast. We're seeing a little sunshine this morning. As we get to 9 or 10 o'clock, we'll cloud up as that rain from the mountains moves across our area. Shouldn't be very much to that. And then once we see skies clearing behind that band of clouds, that's when we'll really start to destabilize the atmosphere. There could be 1 or 2 cells that pop up during the evening commute, but it's much more likely that we'll start to see this between 7 and 8 p.m. You can see at 9 o'clock, that line stretches from South Hill through Raleigh and Southern Pines. It continues to move mainly out of the viewing area by midnight, but there could be a few isolated storms in the south as early as 2 a.m. tomorrow. We have the chance of a few isolated storms also on Tuesday, but none of that's likely to be severe. We take a look at our severe weather threat for today. I know this red is pretty alarming looking, but this just means there's a 30% chance of damaging wind for anyone in our viewing area. It's a 15% chance that you would see large hail, again, anywhere in our viewing area. Rain's going to be an issue. It'll be heavy, potentially anywhere from ½ an inch to an inch of rain. We are, most of us, under a level 2 or low, or I should say medium risk for flooding for today. A lot of that's because we've had so much rain, of course, over the last week or so. I would take a look outside. Goldsboro, pretty sunrise right there, looking at Chapel Hill and Apex too. Nice sunrise now, but we'll expect the clouds to thicken up. And of course, we'll have those evening storms that could be very dangerous. After that, things quiet down midweek, but we are back to a chance of some scattered storms. One thing we didn't talk about, Brian, is we're looking at a high of 94, heat index up around 102 or 103 this afternoon.
Sounds truly miserable.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed. 6:20 right now as we check traffic around the Triangle. We're not seeing any problems showing up right now around Wake County. And as we take a look around the rest of the Triangle area, including up in Durham, we're also looking fine on I-85 right around Redwood Road. That live camera showing you everything moving along well. On that southbound side, watch for a disabled vehicle right there at the Redwood exit. But overall, we're looking fine from Butner all the way into Durham.
Thanks, Brian. A big step forward today in finding the cause of that deadly Titan submersible implosion in the Atlantic. The evidence investigators are scouring this morning as they work to get answers.
And Durham is getting closer to having a new sports complex for kids. The work that's happening in the Bull City to make that project a reality.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Taylor Swift is calling on her legion of Swifties to be nice.
Brian Schrader, always nice. Here now with What's Trending, Brian.
Yes, her next re-recorded album, Speak Now, Taylor's version, comes out next week. And it includes the breakup song, Dear John, which many believe is about John Mayer. Without mentioning Mayer by name, Swift told fans at a concert over the weekend that they should not feel the need to defend her.
She was 19 when she was dating John Mayer. She is now 33, and she's saying, look, to her fans, I don't care what happened to me when I was 19 now, just about the songs that I wrote, hence the re-recorded album, but don't go after my exes. It'll be okay. She just wants to sing the song again.
Yeah. Being a big person.
That's right. Here's the definition of a team player. The shot put thrower from the Belgian national team stepped in for her injured teammates in the hurdles at the European Championships. If no one ran, the whole team would have been disqualified. And she finished more than 19 seconds behind the next slowest racer, but she kept her team in the competition.
And she's getting over the hurdles just fine. There's track and field. The track ones are all the fast ones, the field ones are the strong shot putting types like that. But every point counts, and she was willing to take one for the team right there and get out there. Good for her.
That is awesome. She's MVP.
Yes. Brian, thanks. More than 1 million Hondas are under recall this morning because of problems with the rear cameras. The issue is with models 2018 to 2023 Odysseys, 2019 to 2022 Pilots, and 2019 to 23 Passports. Honda says a faulty coaxial cable connector can prevent the rearview image from appearing on the display. And if your vehicle is affected, you will get a letter about this. Dealers will fix the issue for you free of charge.
Dog lovers in Durham will have a new place to take their pets starting this week. The new dog park at Rock Quarry Park opens tomorrow. A grand opening ceremony is planned from 4 to 6 this afternoon. The new dog park has been in the works for years. It will replace the Northgate Park dog park.
A switch up to the timeline for how the abortion bill that's set to take effect on Saturday will work out. How the Senate vote tonight will make it critical.
And an unusually high risk for severe storms. It's a level 3. I'll show you what that means and what time storms could arrive where you are.
And we're watching a growing number of flight delays and cancellations across the country with a live look right here out at RDU. We'll look at what's causing the issues that are putting a damper on some summer travel plans.